All right, ladies and gentlemen, on Tuesday, April 7th, 2026, I, Caden Sipe, call this meeting to order at 7 p.m. This time, can we get a roll call?
Counselor Funderburk.
Here.
Counselor Duffloff.
Here.
Counselor Katie McMillan.
Here.
Counselor Smith.
Excused.
Counselor Dennis McMillan.
Here.
Counselor McLean.
Here.
Mayor Sipe.
Here. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Is there anything from staff that we need to make any addendums to the agenda as it currently stands? Okay, with nothing else from staff, any questions from council? With no questions from council, I'm looking for a motion at this time.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion. We approve the agenda as presented.
Thank you for your motion. Can we get a second motion, please?
I'll second that.
Motion is first and second. Can we give a roll call?
Counselor Funderburk.
Aye.
Counselor Duffloff.
Aye.
Counselor Katie McMillan.
Aye.
Counselor Dennis McMillan. Counselor McLean.
Aye.
The ayes have it. The agenda is approved for this evening's meeting. Moving on now to our 5.1 general announcements from Mr. Stockton.
Just very quickly, first just wanted to thank everyone that came out to our Easter egg hunt on Friday night. We had a lot of people there. It was a lot of fun. But also, if those that are here with us and council members, just make sure if you can mark your calendars. Once again, Friday, May the 8th, 5:30 to 8:30 in the evening time, we have our ribbon cutting for the business center, and followed up by music and food. Food will be free for all those that come and attend for the night. So we'll have some food vendors out there, and we're going to treat the community to that while they can sort of see the plaza, see the facility, and come out and spend a night there with us. So other than that, I don't have any other announcements.
It was 5:30 to.
8:30.
Well, that sounds great. Moving on now to 5.2, the review of the concept design for the new mural to be placed on the west walls of the business center.
Yeah, thank you. So joining us online, we have Karen and Katie. I'll let them introduce themselves. They are in your agenda packet. You have a concept design. I'll let them introduce that and provide any additional information, then open it up for any questions that you might have. So Karen and Katie, can you hear us? And you're ready. We're ready for you.
Yes.
All right.
Hi.
Hello. All right,
Karen.
so Karen, if you'd like to go ahead and start us off and introduce us, or if Karen, if you're having microphone problems, we can have Katie start us off, however you'd like.
Karen, are you there? Karen has our notes, but I can step in if it's not working. You're on mute, Karen. You gotta click it off. Oh, you got your video now.
Okay. Am I here?
There we go.
Oh my gosh, guys. Okay. Well, first of all, Katie and I are just really honored that we could be part of creating a mural in Umatilla. We really enjoyed working with David. He had a ton of great ideas of things we could incorporate. We're focusing, as you can hopefully see in a picture, on really vibrant color blocks that each one will feature a different animal that's native to the region. Some meaningful ones like coyotes, the golden eagle, salmon, and some other ones. There's a burrowing owl, I believe, and then we have flora or some flowers that are balsam root, camas flower, woods rose, and some other ones, and a cottonwood tree is going to be on the far left that isn't in the picture there. So yeah, we're just looking forward to putting like Explore, and then Umatilla will be really full with the river itself, like vibrant blue and motion of the river. And then the other elements are almost like a quilt of color that form the background for all the native flora and fauna.
It looks great. Is there
Thank
any questions from council?
No, the only question I had was on one of the renderings, they had an elk on there. I just want to make sure we get some deer in there and not the
Yeah,
elk.
so you have two generations. We also have a ram on one too. So the one on the top is what we're looking at. The elk was replaced by mule deer because mule deer are much more prevalent here.
Yes.
Elk are here, but it's been a while, I think, since many people have seen any elk around here. But so we got that, and then we also updated ram with coyote and golden eagle as well. They have a lot of historical and cultural significance to the region for those animals as well. And so, yeah, so we've made a couple. So you can start sort of seeing two iterations along here as we've come along.
Great. Yeah, it looks phenomenal. Any questions from anyone else?
So
Looks
they'll
good.
be out here on site beginning on April in 2 weeks on April 20th, and so they'll be here for about a week to get this completed and have this completed in time prior to our ribbon cutting ceremony.
So is it going to be full color? Or
It
is
will.
Yes.
Oh. I thought it was just,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, quick and sweet. Thank you.
Thank you.
both
It's
so very
beautiful.
much. We're looking
Well-
forward to hosting you here in a couple weeks.
We love it. Thank
Thanks.
Thank you
We'll
guys.
see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Moving on now to 5.3. The Oregon State Marine Board Clean Marine Program.
All right. Yeah, go ahead, Glenn, grab the mic over there.
Now it's on.
There you
There we go. On button. Well, hello, everybody. I'm Glenn Dolphin with the Oregon State Marine Board. Here tonight to kind of give some recognition to your staff over at the marina and the RV park. And this is through the Clean Marina program. So I've been with the Marine Board now for about 19 years. And this year is a special year for the Clean Marina program in that it's the 20th anniversary of the program. For those of you that are not quite familiar with it, I'll just give a quick little minute overview. And so the Clean Marina certification is a voluntary enrollment into this program with the Marine Board. And it recognizes facilities throughout the state that would be marinas, floating home morages, and boatyards that are implementing environmental regulations and then going above and beyond implementing some program standards. Voluntary sign up, as I mentioned, it's a environmental compliance program based on a partnership rather than enforcement. So I'm not a state enforcement agent for environmental laws, but I'm here for technical assistance to marinas to help solve problems. And so upon enrolling into the program and getting a site evaluation by myself and then passing and getting a certification, what happens every 3 years after that is I come back to a facility and recertify them every 3 years. Come back, do a checkup. Is everything still in place that was happening 3 years ago? Did that sign get taken down when you painted the building and never put back up? Because that's on the checklist. You need to put the sign back up, and those things happen, right? This program has evolved over the last 20 years. And currently statewide, we have 65 certified facilities that are a mix of all those types of facilities that I mentioned. Every summer,
I go and see about 20 to 25 facilities out of the total 65. So at the end of a 3-year cycle, I've seen all 65 facilities and they're good. And then I start over again. And so the program started this Golden Anchor Award back in 2021. We were coming out of the pandemic. We're just starting to try and get back into normalcy. And I thought it would be a great time to introduce a recognition for a facility that's going above and beyond and really doing great, knocking it out of the park. And so we came up with this concept for the Golden Anchor Award. So every summer when I go see those 20 to 25 sites, I evaluate who's really doing the best out of that group of 25. Not against L65, just that summer's group gets evaluated for the award. So last summer, I was out visiting with Salud. And at the end of the summer, during the fall, I kind of gather all the evaluations back up, meet with my manager, and we kind of make a decision. And so this year's award is being awarded to the Umatilla Marine and RV Park. Yeah, so a round of applause for Salud and Esmeralda, who wasn't able to be here tonight because you just mentioned she's feeling a little under the weather, unfortunately. And Denise is also staff at the marina as well. So this award is not really about having the newest and the biggest and the most expensive, luxurious facility in the state. That's not what the award is about. The award is really about who's doing the best job out of that summer group of 25. They're implementing the program standards, but going above and beyond. So on the checklist, there's items that are required to comply with because it's a law. There's items that are required as a program standard. And then there's optional items to score. So you don't have to score 100% on the checklist. 85% is a passing. I would say 90% of my facilities are above 90% on their evaluations. So this really just goes to kind of highlight how, I've been walking marina docks for 19 years and I was really impressed with how Salud, Denise, and Esmeralda have brought together the management at the facility. And so, there's just a couple things I want to kind of highlight here that kind of you stand out from all the rest from last summer. And one of the biggest things is over the last 5 years, I've really encouraged marina managers to create a working relationship with their local county sheriff marine deputy. So these are the folks out enforcing marine board law, boating laws. They are out on boats, they're at boat ramps. And very few of them visit marinas. And so I mentioned it 3 years ago or whatever it was. And then when I came back this last summer, I learned that this partnership was created. The sheriff deputy comes in the spring and fall. They all walk the docks. They evaluate the boats. They're looking for expired registrations, unseaworthy boats that are part of the marina rules. And then the deputy is enforcing the registration requirement if the boat owner is not doing it on their own. So again, I think there's only about 3 counties in the entire state that have this partnership created. So good job here with you and that deputy. The fuel station at a marina there's not a lot of on-water fuel stations in the state. Maybe about a dozen at most, probably more like 10. And so they bring with them a lot of complexity to manage. There's a lot of laws. You got to watch for spills. You're constantly getting the tanks refilled. You got machinery working. You got pumps breaking, all this stuff. So it's a lot to manage. And the fuel station here is managed very well, in my opinion. It's like a full service spot. It's got the boat sewage pump out station that I've never really learned has been down for very long at all. Regular maintenance and issues that they all have. this marina took it upon themselves to put an emergency oil spill kit at the top of each gangway. I give 1 kit per marina as part of certification. So that was great to see even more out there. And then lastly, optional items on the checklist. I always recommend the facilities that they kind of look at what they're not doing and maybe do a couple additional things to provide more services to boaters. And so this last summer, you have a well-managed fish cleaning table. You've a lot of fishing going in and out of the facility. And so I mentioned, hey, if you want, you could contact Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife. They have this used fishing line recycling program, and you could sign up with them and they'll help you. They can put up a collection tube and this is an optional item. So it's up to you if you want to do it or not. 9 out of 10 times when I make this recommendation, when I come back 3 years later, it didn't get implemented. But here it did. It did get implemented here. So congratulations, Salute. Because let's go over here. We'll get it left. So Golden Anchor Award, I'll just kind of show it to the mayor here. 20th anniversary of the Clean Marina program. And this is going above and beyond, signed by the agency. So salute with salute.
This is you.
Yeah,
I just doing work on this.
Good job, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, thank you.
Other ways than just this, through our facilities program with grants. I think we're helping with kind of the revamp of the facility here in the near future. We appreciate everything you guys are doing, you folks are doing out here in the community for recreational boating. So thanks, and you all have a great meeting tonight, and I appreciate you getting me in early, and have a great meeting tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be in touch.
Absolutely. Well, I just want to give a great shout out to Glenn because he's not just like there for the support, but great mentor and points me in the right direction to get these things accomplished and completed for the marina. So thank you, Glenn.
Great job, Salute. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
Congratulations. That's well.
Yeah,
well done.
congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you for all your hard work. Any further questions or comments on that before I continue? Okay. Moving now to our public comment for this evening. Chief, do you have anyone signed up? Okay. As a reminder, the public comment section allows community members to share their opinions, raise concerns, and provide information directly to the city council. Comment should be addressed. Thank you, Chief. Should address city-related issues and not pertain to items scheduled for a public hearing on the same evening's agenda. If you wish to speak, please complete the sign-up form, including the topic you wish to address. Begin by stating your name and address when called to the podium. Speakers are allotted 5 minutes unless otherwise directed. Please note, comments criticizing city programs and operations are permitted during this segment. However, criticisms of individual city employees is not allowed during public comment period. Concerns regarding city employees should be submitted in writing to the city's human research manager for proper review. Thank you for cooperation. First up, we have Jennifer Raymond.
Hello, Jennifer Raymond at 312 Yakima Street. I'm going to try to get through this. As you may know, a month ago yesterday, we lost Mary Diedrich. She was a city council member, a mayor, volunteer coordinator, friend, and valued community member. Mary had lived in Umatilla since 1978. She loved our small town atmosphere and the feeling of family our community provided. She worked for the Umatilla School District from 1981 to 2021. As one of the city's representatives, she was there for the whole community. She dreamed of a place where everyone worked together to move Umatilla forward and upward. If she was ever asked a question she didn't know the answer to, she would leave no rock unturned until she found it. If someone was in need of help and she couldn't do it personally, she knew the best person for the job. One of the things she valued most was honesty. She didn't like to be lied to, and she didn't like it when people tried to use their position or name in any way to harass, gain, or influence anyone. She felt blessed that our community gave her the opportunity to give back to our great town of Umatilla, but it was us who was blessed to have her. She loved talking to people and always had a smile, a hug, and probably some produce to share. Many generations recognize and cherish her ribbon roses. Several community members and even her own daughter have asked me why the city or the school has not done anything in her honor or in her remembrance. I do not have those answers, but I'm here tonight to ask you that that be remedied. I'd like to see our flag flown at half-staff. I would like to see a tree planted in her name with a bench and a plaque. Somewhere it can be seen and enjoyed by all that knew her and loved her, like somewhere near our new business center. If this is not something that would be in the city's budget, I ask that the space be made available and I will get the funding another way. I know that there are people that would love to contribute to this cause in her honor. Mary was a very special member of our community, and it meant the world to her. This is the least we can do to encourage others to be more like Mary. Be involved, volunteer, show up, speak out, help others. I, for one, miss her, and I know that there's others that do too. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ray.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Next up, we have Susan Taylor.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay. Susan Taylor, 924 Barton Loop. Mine is about the sidewalks in our neighborhood. And I've talked to the Tessa about it, and I've never gotten a response. But we do have a sidewalk that a tree root has grown up and caused it to be very uneven. And I have neighbors that have to use walkers. And when they walk, they have to walk in the street in a spot where traffic comes around the corner. They can't see if someone's out there. And they have told me many times it's just so unsafe. And so I'm just curious as to what needs to be done to fix that.
Good question. Scott's got his hand raised, so I'll go pass this over along to Scott and see if he can. Yeah. Go for it, Scott.
Yeah, we can certainly look at it. Unfortunately, the rules of Public Works is that the sidewalk is actually the responsibility, the safety and replacement of it is actually the responsibility of the landowner that's there. But we certainly can look at that and see if there isn't something that we can possibly do. If the tree is on the landowner's side of the right of way and the roots growing over there, then it technically is the responsibility of the landowner to remove the tree, the root, and the sidewalk. And I think Dave would say that may be just an undue hindrance on the folks. But we also look at the fact of it's on the city side of the sidewalk, then it truly is a city issue when it comes to ownership. But I'll certainly visit with Dave, and we can certainly come up with some kind of plan to figure it out together. And we don't want to put undue burden on any homeowner, but at the same time, we do follow the rules, and so it's certainly something we can certainly look out to. Please reach out to me and or pass along your phone number to Dave, and I will reach out to you tomorrow.
You've all got my phone number. No.
Yeah, and we can take a look at it together and make sure we come up with a plan together.
Okay, thank you, Scott. I appreciate you.
You
Okay,
bet.
thank you.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you,
Thank you,
Susan, for
Susan.
bringing that forward. Next up, we have Josiah Barron.
always have to feel like I'm bending down so low for this. But it works really good, so I just got to know I can speak into it. Josiah Barron, 100 Umatilla Chamber of Commerce, 100 Klein Avenue. I just wanted to start by recognizing, even though it was way before I started at the chamber, I know that Mary Dietrich served a lot of time working with the Umatilla Chamber of Commerce and was very involved in the Umatilla Chamber in that way, even serving on the board of directors for a period of time. So I just wanted to, on behalf of being from the Umatilla Chamber of Commerce, recognize her for the service to her community in that way as well. And then just a couple coming events I wanted to mention from some of our members. So on Thursday, and a lot of these are, if you go to umatillaorchamber.org and look on our events page, a lot of these are on our events page here. And if I say one that's not quite, I'll make sure I get it added. I just had noticed it tonight. So there's one of our members, Oven Delights Bakery, has a couple of pop-up markets coming up. Thursday, April 9th, from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Maurice's. So if you like baked goods, then they're partnering with Maurice's and they'll be at there in Hermiston. And then Oven Delights will also be at Pet Sense for a charity event on Saturday, April 18th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So 10% of the proceeds that they sell from the baked goods will go to the local pet shelters in the area. And then also, if you're not already a regular attender of the Way Back Wednesday that the Bridge Bistro and Brews has regularly, you may have noticed that they have a couple new artists coming up, and I believe so this coming Friday, April 10th at 6 p.m. will be a new artist, Lucas Treptow. That's still correct? Okay, so come check out a new music artist. The Bridge is always good at platforming some of the local artists in the area, and that's every Wednesday, unless otherwise scheduled, that they have the Way Back Wednesday. Nothing beats some live music and good food, right? And then the last one I had to mention right now is Heather's Fashion Boutique has a Mother's Day special event coming up here on Sunday, May 3rd. So this is, I know it's a little bit, but so you can mark your calendars and plan ahead. Sunday, May 3rd at Heather's Fashion Boutique in Stanfield. She's partnering with Soleil Day Spa, and they'll be having, you can shop at the boutique. There'll be specials on facials and a raffle and a lot of things to be involved in. But if you go to, like I said, the Umatilla Chamber, our events calendar, you can see all the details for these events and some of the other upcoming events too. That's all I have for today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Josiah.
Okay, we'll move on now to our consent agenda for this evening. We have 7.2 and 7.1.
Mayor Sype,
Yes,
Mr. Coleman has his hand up again.
thanks. Go for it, Scott. What do you got for us?
Well, I just wanted to chime in here. I meant to do it before the public comment, but I didn't get caught quick enough. But there was, I really wanted to say thank you to Salute and Denise and Esmeralda for all the work they do down there. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention that my staff, the public works guys, do the heavy lifting down there when it comes to the maintenance and that kind of side of things. And I know that I don't want to be, I wouldn't be a very good public works director if I didn't mention that how hard the guys work down there to make sure things were we're taken care of, and Denise and Salute and Esmeralda make sure they have us lined out on what needs to get done, and they manage all the management side of it. And I just wanted everybody to know that the guys work really hard down there to make sure that that place is the best place that it can be. So just wanted to do a little shout out to my guys. So that was it.
Thanks for your public comment, Scott. We appreciate it. Okay.
Mr. Mayor,
Yeah.
before we move on, can I make a request that we add to the consent items, a motion to have our staff look into making something for Mary Dietrich, through a proclamation, and also looking at a tree for Arbor Day as well?
Yeah, so do you want to add that as a discussion item for the
Do-
evening's agenda?
Yeah, just so we can make a motion so that we can get the staff going on it.
Mhm.
So I don't know if it needs to be in consent or discussion, either one.
Your rules say it becomes the first item under new business, so
Under-
it sort of jumps in front of everything else in new business.
Yeah.
Business,
I think
okay,
that's great. Yeah, that was my next thing.
okay.
Okay, let's go for it. Yeah, this time we're looking for a motion to add a remembrance memorial object tree bench. I don't want to get too specific. I don't want to, I don't want to tie our hands
Right.
here, but looking for a motion this time.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we direct staff into exploring the opportunities for
Adding to the agenda.
adding to the agenda to have them look into remembrance for Mary Dietrich.
Thank you. Can we have a second motion?
I'll second it.
Motion's for a second. Can we get a roll call this time?
Counselor Funderburk,
Aye.
Counselor Duffloff,
Aye.
Counselor Katie McMillan,
Aye.
Counselor Dennis McMillan.
Aye.
Counselor McLean.
Aye.
You guys have it. We'll bump everything down one. Okay, Scott, you have anything else for us? I don't see a hand raise. Is that a hand raise or just the mouse now?
It looks
Just
like
the
a
mouse. Oh, that's just the
It's
mouse.
not
Okay,
right.
I was like, is that just a smaller hand raise? Okay, moving on now to consent agenda. We have items 7.1 and 7.2. Are there any questions on those from anyone from council this time? Okay, this time we're looking for a motion to pass the consent agenda as one package.
Mr. Mayor, I'd make a motion. We approve consent agenda item 7.1 and 7.2.
Thank you very much. Can we get a second to the motion, please?
I'll
Oh.
second that.
Can we get a roll call?
Counselor Funderburk,
Sorry. Aye.
Counselor Duffloff,
Aye.
Counselor Katie McMillan,
Aye.
Counselor Dennis McMillan,
Aye.
Counselor McLean.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Now moving on to our public hearing this evening. Do I have the script for that up here? Okay. I got public comment. That's a good question. Yeah, I just have public comment.
Apologize. Give us just a moment. We'll get to that.
Yeah. Email it to me real quick. Okay.
Feel like there should be some jeopardy.
I know, right? There's gotta be something. Yeah. It's going off in my head. Yeah.
When you have kids, everything's too quiet.
What are you up to, Dave?
Yeah.
Did you send it by personal email? I know I'm looking. Yeah, okay. Double checking. Feel like the space crew asking about their Outlook not working. Is that? Got it. Okay, this time we're looking for a motion to go into public hearing.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we adjourn and go into a public hearing.
Thank you very much. Can we get a second motion, please?
I'll second the motion.
Motion's first and seconded. Can we get a roll call?
Counselor Funderburk.
Aye.
Counselor Duffloff.
Aye.
Counselor Katie McMillan.
Aye.
Counselor Dennis McMillan. Counselor McLean.
The ayes have it. A public hearing is now open to consider the first reading of ordinance number 882, an ordinance amending the Umatilla Code Section 761 Park Operating Policy to authorize the city manager or designee to permit alcohol consumption in city parks with an approved special use permit. The procedure that I'd like to follow in tonight's manner is 1, a staff report, 2, public testimony of members of the audience who wish to speak on the proposal, and any received written testimony will be asked to speak in support, opposition, or as neutral. Next will be 3, and that's council deliberations. Council members may raise any questions or concerns or comments regarding the testimony of the proposed amendment. And D is 4, which is closing of the hearing. Persons who wish to testify, please come to the podium, give your name and address, and sign in for the record. You'll be given 5 minutes to present your testimony. At this time, is there any council members who wish to disqualify himself or herself for any personal financial interest in this matter before us tonight? Or does any council member want to report any significant ex parte or pre-hearing contacts? With there being none, Oregon law requires that all issues be raised if the issues are to be appealed. Failure to raise the issue at this hearing may invalidate their further appeal. Failure to raise an issue on the record with sufficient specificity and accompanied by statements or evidence sufficient to afford the city and all parties to respond to the issue may invalidate their further appeal. Any party wishing a continuance or to keep the record open must make that request while the recording is still open. At this time, will staff please present the report?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. The ordinance 882 proposal in front of you is pretty straightforward. First of all, we posted notification for this ordinance and this hearing tonight according to our city charter and code. And the item before you tonight is to expand what's already on the books at our marina and at the golf course to be allowed at all of our park facilities throughout our park system. It would allow for the use of alcohol consumption in our parks through a special use permit application, be approved by the city manager or designee, which would likely be the parks director. It would require things, we already have a special use permit in place where we require insurance, liability, those sorts of things would all be part of it as well. If alcohol is to be sold and served, it requires them to have an OLCC permit, but if not, if it's just a family gathering, they're celebrating an anniversary, a wedding or something like that, and there's nothing being sold, it would allow for us to consider that and review it, but an OLCC license is not required in that case because there's no selling of alcohol in that instance. So pretty basic, 2 strike-throughs, 2 additions to make that expansion to not just 2 facilities, but to the entire park system.
Yeah. Any questions from council?
I just got a couple questions. So like, is there gonna be like a specific or is there already in place, I guess, since you have other, parks that utilize this, are there any specific criteria like a private person would have to hit in order to be issued the permit?
So our special use permit process really comes down to risks and liabilities. And so which facility are they asking for? So for example, if they wanted to use one of the small pavilions as their main center point down at the marina, That would certainly accommodate something like maybe 20, 30, 40 people, depending on if they're using the pavilion area around, but not like 500. And so we would look at the type of where the location is, time of day, all those things would be considered. Now, the pavilion over at Nugent Park, for example, could accommodate a whole lot more.
Yeah.
But if they're trying to do that, at the middle of a Little League baseball game or something, that's probably going to be denied. And so there isn't a specific necessarily objective criteria. It's case by case, park by park, facility by facility, and all those things come together, and we're going to weigh and measure those differences on risks and liabilities.
Okay. That sounds good. The other question I had, is it going to be affordable for private citizens? Like if they are having just a family reunion or something, is it going to be within the price range for them?
Yeah, so our special use permits now are on a sliding scale. They're anywhere from free to, I believe, $100. And this would probably, because alcohol generally rises to a higher level of risk, it's probably going to be $100 fee.
Okay.
But we will present that, put that into your fee proposal, which is coming your way here pretty soon. on the
Okay.
adjustment
All
of
right,
that.
I'm jumping the horse there.
No, you're okay.
Okay.
Any further questions on this from council?
I have a follow-up on that. If there aren't concrete criteria, are you going to set up an appeal process? Because inevitably you'll have somebody that doesn't agree with a countertop decision.
We certainly could create that if that's something of the council. At the moment, the code isn't set up that way, doesn't provide any type of appeal process. If you'd like, we certainly could add that in.
It might be good because if we don't have like specific target criteria, then someone might give the, say we're favoring someone over the other person maybe. So it's probably a pretty good idea.
Yeah, I second that. I think without firm.
You've got the most experience.
Well, ultimately, to fall in line with other communities, not to say that we're if they jump off a bridge, we're gonna go too. That's not really how they're set up. This is a more blanketed effect of things, and it's really not an application deny. And remember, open container is still open container. It doesn't matter. So there's things that fall in line that's gonna keep people potentially in accordance with the law. But I believe I think it's a cart before the horse when it comes to this. And ultimately, I think if we have the authority go to the city manager, then ultimately he's the overseer.
Yeah, so with our special use permits, we understand the process a little bit more. They all come with a condition of approval. So, for example, I'll use Nugent Park as an example, because we're very familiar with that. So most of the time when it comes to any type of use of that main pavilion there's usually like for noise, for example, there's a 50-foot rule that's on there. So you can rent the pavilion. It comes with the full use of it. There's electricity and stuff there. You can play your music, but if it can be heard and it's really loud for more than 50 feet away, that's a violation of our noise rules with that permit for that use. Similar things like this would come into play. So speaking of open container and things like that, this isn't just you have the permit, you have it free reign throughout the whole park. It's here's your facility. You have a radius about where your event's going to be. And if you're outside of that, you could be cited. And so we come up with each of those, like I said, we can come up with objective criteria. I have no problem with that. We can present something to you and do that. But like I said, we have, I think 19 different park facilities, and then you have, parks and then sub facilities within those parks. It gets to be a lot of nuance in there. That's quite difficult, which is why we typically just do this through an administrative process. Most communities do it through an administrative process, but we can create sort of your initial step, I guess, our standard, and then we can be administrative from there, whatever you'd like.
Legal, go ahead.
Hi, Joanna Lyons-Antley. So I would just add that, of course, the city owns these properties, and as property owners, you can determine how those properties are used. So I don't necessarily think that a appeal process is necessary, although that's certainly within your discretion. I would also echo, I think, what Davis said about an administrative process is a lot more flexible. We could add something in the ordinance that outlines that that a process shall be approved, and it'll outline some criteria, but leave it pretty broad would be my recommendation. You don't want to overwhelm the code, and you want to have that flexibility.
I'd be fine just with a shall issue thing and be in your discretion or the staff's discretion, assuming that there's like like you said, a Little League games like, hey, we can't. So if they get denied and you go, why? Because it's a Little League game, I mean, as long as it's plain as day like that, but you will issue otherwise if there's no conflict of anything. I'm fine with that. It just be in your discretion, as long as we have a, pretty straightforward reason why they were denied.
So I guess my concern is that this gives a lot of power to the city staff to prevent someone from being able to do this. If they want to do it and they're targeting, they're against this person for a political reason, and they can consistently deny that same person over and over again.
But
what's the appeal process?
Ultimately, I think we just have to ask the question of what's the intent, right? And again, if we do something different than a lot of other people, then that too is also considered to be prejudice, right? So if we hinder things harder than others or whatever, then there's room for problems anyway. So let's not even go there, in my personal opinion. And you guys, there's plenty of research online. If you guys look at that, there's an application. If you're going to sell alcohol, you have to fill out a permit. If you have alcohol permitted or something of that nature, then it's all in there. So I don't think we need a criteria. I mean, me personally, but
I don't
that's just
understand
my
the
opinion.
criteria. My concern is that if one gets denied, who do they appeal to? Who do they come and say, hey, I got denied?
Well,
they didn't give me a clear reason why. Who do they go to? What do they ask?
No, I agree. But in the same sense, I also agree that we have an attorney here telling us that we don't necessarily have to have that. We have the right to say yay or nay. And then obviously if we see a certain person having bias towards something, and then we as a council can hold that individual, that's way beyond a liquor permit. Does that make sense? To me, if we see a staff member that's not acting accordingly.
But we don't have any direct control over staff other than Dave.
What's that?
We don't have any direct control over staff other than Dave. So if
We
someone-
do, the council does, and that person would land on David, so David Stockdale.
Right,
is
but
the
we have
person.
we can't control an individual staff member. The only staff member we can control is Dave.
No, I'm very aware of that.
Okay.
I get that. My thing is if I have a problem, if there's a problem in the city, we go to our point of contact that we can, and that would be David. And that's why I'm saying that the tip of the spear, my opinion, again, I'm just having a conversation, is that the tip of the spear is going to be David Stockdale. So he's going to be the one that we're going to go to and say, Mr. Stockdale, take care of the situation. So if there's something wrong with the facilities or somebody's doing something wrong, he's the person to hold them accountable.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I see what you're
saying.
saying. I'm fine with being his discretion, as long as if there's a denial, it's just a clear cut reason, like you
Right.
can see it on paper, like, hey, they were denied because,
Sure.
another event, or children were having a Easter egg hunt, like, you don't want to.
Sure.
As long as there's just a clear reason, I'm fine with the
Sure.
staff discretion.
Sure.
So, if I could mention a couple things. So generally speaking, as I mentioned, case by case, park by park, that sort of thing. So, Joanna's mentioned this, we call that time, use and manner, or time, place and manner, time, use and manner. All those things kind of come into play there. We look at those. The city, we issue several different permits throughout the city. Everything in our public works design standards, for example, all that is delegated to the public works director. I can't even override his decision. His decision's final on that. And so we have it type 1 and type 2 in land use. Those are the community development director's decision. Those are administrative decisions. And so we do this a lot throughout our code all the time. Not everything is always appealed up because you've hired staff to be your resident expert for this. And so again, though, if the desire is to have an appeal process, we can certainly get that incorporated into the code. We could definitely do that. But it isn't out of line to say that it's something that we don't do. We do it all the time throughout our code through administrative processes.
Bruce, you have anything to add?
It sounds like we've run this around, and it sounds like we've got an administrative answer in place already, where this whole policy is a trial to see, what we like, what we don't like. It just seems like it's more appropriate to let this go with the recommendation and keep an eye on what happens. It's, maybe I got caught in a moment where I was thinking people weren't going to be adults and behave. And, we can always hope that people act like adults and behave. I mean, it doesn't sound like, it sounds like we have a system in place where, where you're already, figuring, who's gonna be making those decisions, and you would be the natural next person to ask a question if somebody was dissatisfied with an answer. Seems like a perfectly good place to move forward.
And I want to add that I appreciate everybody having the wherewithal and the thought of liability, obviously, because that's what we're looking at, right? Liability, we don't want to violate anybody's rights if somebody says, hey, you can't do that because of this or whatever. And if you come back with a blanketed no, that's inappropriate too. So no, I completely agree.
Yeah, and I just want to add too that, the reason I went down that line of process of thinking is because we've had a couple other topics that we've had the illusion, at least, of favoritism in the city. And so I just wanted to hash it out to see, what's going on. But like Bruce just brought up, I mean, it is a new thing. I'm really glad to see us doing this in the first place. I think it's a great thing to start, starting point. And like Bruce said, though, we'll just play it by ear. And if we run into a bunch of problems, we can fix it then, I think.
Okay. Any further questions from council this time?
No.
Staff, does that conclude your report?
I'm sorry, Mayor, I didn't catch that last question.
Okay, are you guys done with your report?
Yeah, we're done with staff report. As we move further into the hearing, we could certainly go through that. We also need to make sure before I would suggest before we do, we have a formal first reading into the record of the hearing. We haven't done that yet. But yeah, by title only, please.
Can we get that read in, please, by title only? Do we need a motion to do it first, or is that, so it says immediately after the public hearing? So the script says after we go back in a public hearing, then we do the motion for it to be read in.
No,
That's the script that I have.
We have a
Close the
motion.
public hearing and go in.
We're still in the public hearing. We still have
Yeah,
four more
we're-
steps of the public.
We're
hearing.
still in public hearing.
We need a motion for reading.
Yeah, we have,
Title only.
So both are correct. So it's whichever way you'd like to do it. So you can read it in the hearing and that's on the record and it's there, or you can finish here. You can read it into the record under your regular agenda.
let's just finish the hearing. We're almost done. Is there now it's time for public testimony. Is there any one of the audience members who wish to speak in proposal in support of this? Is there any public members who would like to speak in opposition of this proposal? Are there any members of the audience who wish to speak as a neutral testimony on this proposal? And last but not least, are there any further discussions or questions from council on this proposal prior to closing the hearing? At this time, I'm looking for a motion to close the public hearing.
Mr. Mayor, I would make a motion that we close the public hearing on ordinance 882.
Thank you. Can we get a second on the
Do we
motion?
have to re-enter into the?
And enter into the, yeah.
Enter into
Thank you.
normal session.
I'll second that.
Counselor Funderburk. Aye. Counselor Dufflaw.
Aye.
Counselor Katie McMillan.
Aye.
Counselor Dennis McMillan. Counselor McLean.
You guys have it. Melissa, do we need to add something?
A motion.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
Yes.
Do that.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we add a 9.1 to new business to read the ordinance number 882 by title only.
Mayor, I'm sorry, Counselor Dufflaw, if we could refrain from adding numbers because we did already add an item for remembrance. So if you
Yes.
would just allow the city recorder to renumber the agenda, that would be very helpful.
Okay, then I would like to make a motion that we add the first reading of ordinance number 882 by title only to new business.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your motion. Can we get a second to the motion, please?
I'll second it.
We got a roll call.
Counselor Funderburk. Aye. Counselor Dufflaw.
Aye.
Counselor Katie McMillan.
Aye.
Counselor Dennis McMillan.
Aye.
Counselor McLean.
Aye.
Okay, moving on now to our new business item. The the first reading of ordinance number 882
By title.
by title only.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we have a first reading of ordinance number 882 by title only.
Thank you very much for your motion. Can we get a second to the motion, please?
I'll second it.
Motion been first and second, looking for a roll call this time.
Counselor Funderburk.
Aye.
Counselor Dufflock.
Aye.
Counselor Katie McMillan.
Aye.
Counselor Dennis McMillan.
Aye.
Counselor McLean.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to our next item on the new business
Gotta read.
agenda.
Ordinance number 882, an ordinance amending Umatilla Code Section 761, Park Operating Policy to authorize the city manager or designate to permit alcohol consumption in city parks with an approved special use permit. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I apologize. Sorry about that. Okay, now moving on to new business
Could have done
item.
better, Mayor. We'll
It's
do
okay.
better during the second reading, I promise.
It all happens. It's okay. We'll be all right. Moving on now to our next new business item, remembrance for former Mayor Diedrich. I want to highlight, again, thank you very much for Jennifer Raymond for coming this evening and doing that. We did do a moment of silence during our budget committee meeting, and I want to highlight that and say thank you very much for bringing this forward and doing a larger thing, and we appreciate that. We're looking for a motion to direct staff on that. If
Yeah.
there's any further questions or conversations, I know Darren, you kind of had one in your head. Do you want to go for it?
Sure.
Go for it.
If you don't mind, I'd like to make a motion that we direct staff to explore the options and what we need to do to get a memorial tree and a plaque for Miss Dietrich. Also, we need a proclamation as well for her at some point, and explore the cost for the bench, the remembrance bench.
What about flags? Did we do that?
Flag, yeah.
Oh, yes, and I would also ask that we half mass our flags for a one day.
Mhm.
I know that there's some stuff with that,
We
right?
need permission from the governor's office.
Correct, that's what I thought. I thought we had to have very high authority to do a half staff. But if we could explore the other items, meaning the remembrance bench, the tree, and then also the proclamation, that'd be great.
Yeah, and we can still explore the flag at half mast. This might take some more paperwork.
Sure.
Okay. All right, so hold on.
Is that a first or a motion?
Let's.
So the motion would be,
Motion.
the motion would be to explore the remembrance of Mary Dietrich, to include the tree for Arbor Day, the bench, the remembrance bench, the proclamation, and the possibility of a half mass for a week on our flag.
Thank you very much for that motion.
I'll second that motion.
Bruce seconded. I'm gonna give Nancy a second to type this motion out real quick. Yeah, are you good? Get ready for a roll call this time.
Counselor Funderburk.
Aye.
Counselor Dufflock.
Aye.
Counselor Katie McMillan.
Aye.
Counselor Dennis McMillan. Counselor McLean.
Aye.
Okay, the ayes have it. Now moving on to our new business item, Library Advisory Committee resignation and declaring a vacancy. At this time, is there any questions from council on this? Okay, at this time, we're looking for a motion to accept the resignation and to announce a vacancy.
Mr. Mayor, I would make a motion that we accept the resignation and formally declare a vacancy on Library Advisory Committee and direct staff to establish a deadline for advertising the position and accepting applications for consideration.
Thank you for the motion. Can we have a second to the motion, please?
I'll
Second that.
This McMillan. We get a roll call.
Counselor Funderburk.
Aye.
Counselor Dufflock.
Aye.
Counselor Katie McMillan.
Aye.
Counselor Dennis McMillan.
Aye.
Counselor McLean.
Aye.
Okay, moving on now to the city manager, David Stockdale's annual performance evaluation. Any questions on that one? John?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. Per our annual, per Dave's contract, we had our annual evaluation of the city manager, where each of you filled out the evaluation. I then compiled all of those evaluations into one document. And the personnel committee reviewed that last month. So you should be able to see that. Dave then met with the mayor and myself to talk about goals and accomplishments. from this past year and then goals for this coming year. One thing I want to point out, the conversation between the mayor and Mr. Stockdale was continued work life balance. Dave initially had that as a sub bullet. And Mayor Seif thought that that would be a good thing to continue to focus on. And so we made that its own bullet as well. So Dave, do you have anything else that you wanted to highlight on your accomplishments or? All right. I'm happy to answer any questions from council.
No, I will give a quick comment about that. It's always good to meet with Dave on his goals, and especially good to meet with him and John and to, get to see some of his kudos and some pretty amazing stuff that he's doing around the city, and to kind of be reminded of that throughout the year, and sort of highlight that it was a very productive meeting, and it's always good to meet with both of them.
And I will point out the personnel committee did ask staff to research some other evaluation options. So we'll probably be bringing something back to the personnel committee and to the council sometime later this year as well. So
awesome. Okay. With that, we're looking for motion this time.
I'd like to make a motion to confirm the mayor's summarized written performance and evaluation of the city manager, David Stockdale.
Thank you. A second to the motion, please.
I'll second.
Motion's been first and seconded. Can we get a roll call this time?
Counselor Vanderberg.
Aye.
Counselor Dufflaw.
Aye.
Counselor Katie McMillan.
Aye.
Counselor Dennis McMillan.
Aye.
Counselor McLean.
Aye.
Thank you very much. The motion carries. Moving on now to new business item, resolution number 40, 2026, authorizing the city manager to finalize and execute a purchase and sale agreement with OJJ LLC for approximately 1.41 acreage.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. So the city has been negotiating with OJJ LLC. They are the owner of the old church in McNary off of Willamette Street. And negotiations have settled in on a purchase for $290,000 for the property, with a payment made here like within the next few days. And then a closing of $102,000 and then a closing payment of $188,000. The purchase and sale agreement that you have in your packet is very close to what the final version will look like, but we have it in your resolution here. The language is broad enough to allow us to make final adjustments and changes throughout that. So the final agreement will probably have additional legal review and some other things like that. But the nuts and bolts of it, which are the dates and the purchase price, those are going to stay the same. Most of it's going to stay the same, but there'll be still some legal adjustments in there. But other than that, that's what we're looking at here with this property. It does give first right of refusal for a potential leaseback agreement, which is something that they are interested in. It does not mandate that either party needs to agree to that, but if they want to lease, they have the first right of refusal. We can enter into a separate agreement for that lease agreement for a small temporary amount of time.
Okay. Any questions from council this time? About to head shake, so this time looking for a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution number 40-2026, authorizing the city manager to finalize and execute a purchase and sale agreement with OJJ LLC for approximately 1.141 acres of real property located at 605 Willamette Street, Umatilla, Oregon.
Thank you, motion. Can we get a second to motion, please?
I'll second that.
Motion's been first and seconded. Looking for a roll call at this time.
Counselor Vanderberg.
Aye.
Counselor Dufflaw.
Aye.
Counselor Katie McMillan.
Aye.
Counselor Dennis McMillan.
Aye.
Counselor McLean.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Motion carries. Moving on now to our resolution item number 41, 2026, a resolution adopting a new memorandum of agreement and amendment of a September 1st, 2000 memorandum of agreement approved the property along River Road and the transfer of a portion of the River Road from approximately 8th Street to Bensel.
Thank you, Mayor. So little history. There are 4 parcels just south of 8th Street along River Road that are currently owned by the county. This was part of a 3-way deal with the city, the county, and the Confederated Tribes back in 2000 through 2003, really, but 2000 was the execution. What we're looking at now, the county has received funding to do the Umatilla River Trail project, and they also are looking to partner with us in helping cleaning up River Road and particularly those parcels which have become sort of an attractive nuisance there with illegal encampments and things like that. And so this transfer of these properties would allow us to continue to expand that partnership. These parcels or this section was identified in our adopted trail master plan, and it also meets several of your other goals which are outlined there in your resolution. So this is a no fee transfer of the property, and it's if you pass a resolution tonight, this goes before the Board of Commissioners next week, and we hope to be able to get that process here within about the next month or so.
This is the same project that we talked about before at our workshop, right? Yeah.
It is, yes.
Okay. Any further questions from council this time? Nope.
Just looking forward to where this one goes in the future.
Yeah, me too.
Yep. Okay, this time we're looking for a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I would make a motion to approve resolution number 41-2026.
Thank you very much for that motion. Can we get a second to the motion, please?
I'll second.
Motion's been first and seconded. At this time, can we get a roll call?
Mr. Funderburk.
Aye.
Counselor Duffloff.
Aye.
Counselor Katie McMillan.
Aye.
Counselor Dennis McMillan. Counselor McLean.
Motion carries. Moving on now to our second public comment period this evening. Josiah Barron. Okay. You're up.
Must have forgot something.
It's okay.
Josiah Barron, Umatilla Chamber of Commerce, 100 Klein Avenue. Yes, you are correct, Counselor Duffloff. I did forget something, and we did post it on Facebook and shared it around, and many of you might have seen this, but for the record, I just wanted to, for those of you that didn't know, the Umatilla County Fair Court Princesses where they are going to be visiting around the county, learning about each of the communities in the county, and their chaperone had reached out to me that the Umatilla Chamber, and Umatilla is the first community that they came to visit. And I wanted to thank specifically the city and Jess Carrillo. She was the representative from the city that talked with the princesses and shared with them. And thank you to the rest of you that took a moment of time. City Manager Stockdale, I know you took a moment, and Carrie also took a moment to answer some questions, share a little bit. But from what I heard back from them, they really enjoyed their visit and really enjoyed learning about the community of Umatilla, as well as coming here and getting an opportunity to tour the business center. They went to some of the other businesses too. They talked with Dave at Columbia Harvest Foods and visited some of the local beauty shops, the salon, the nails, and then we went up to, and they got to talk with Jason Middleton up there at United Grain and learn about the Port of Umatilla and all the grain and all the things everything that's coming into Umatilla that's helping all the farmers in the rest of the county. So they really enjoyed it, and I just wanted to say that for the record. Thank you again to the city for being a great host as well.
Cool.
Thanks, Josiah.
Thank you.
Is there any other public comments at this time? Okay.
Hello, everyone. My name is Zach Phillips, 118 John Day Street. This is really mostly in regards to the 605 at Willamette Street that you guys have just spoken about. For those of you who don't know, I've been a long time Umatilla resident. The only time that I left was really to join the active duty Air Force. And then I came home, worked within the walls of TRCI with Mr. Duffloff, and then within the walls of when I was a child, Ms. Funderburk, when she was a teacher as well. But I really enjoy seeing the fact that 605 is being talked about in regards to renovation. I know this is very, very early stage. But myself, I'm looking forward to opening a veteran-owned and operated golf business inside of Umatilla. I've already been talking with the Quality Inn hotel owner to try to get into space in there, and talks really kind of stalled out. So 605 offers a very unique opportunity in regards to Umatilla, being the only golf course within the zip code and surrounding areas, and also not having a driving range. I'd really like to be within talks, continued, potential for renting and whatnot. So I really thank both the city council and the city manager and all of those parties that were involved with, potentially getting that, because definitely some lights looking forward that might be turning on in some places that my bus, when I was a grade schooler driving by it, just wishing it was a bowling alley or, something of the sort. And not to say that it's a very big, it's about 25,000 square foot. Been doing my own research. I've been taking my own pictures and developing an own business plan as well. So, really look forward to speaking and working with you guys, hopefully in the future to be a hopefully first tenant, maybe potentially. I know there's a massive amount of renovations that are required as well. I also have a team that's willing to aid and do that as well. But I look forward genuinely, hopefully near future to developing, what has been a very large vacant eyesore and in my opinion, one of the shining lights in Umatilla, that is McNary and the golf course. And now being city owned and operated, it'd also be a great partnership. Being there is no driving range there to offer something like that to the members and whatnot that go there continuously that don't have that. Truly, I just don't want to take up any more time, but thank you. And just really wanted to put that out there in a, open general that we are working in the background to try to be a very integral part. Now, when I was in high school as well, I'll golf for the city of Umatilla, the high school team, freshman, sophomore, and junior year. And my senior year, it was cut due to funding. So I wasn't actually able to play when I was a senior. So my plan also, if this does work and we are a business partner and whatnot in the city of Umatilla, would be to provide continuous roundup type donations so that there never again is a time that a sport like that, or any sport for that matter, gets cut in Umatilla. But I'd love to be an integral part of many points, but thank you guys for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your
Sign,
service.
fill out the sheet as well. Yeah, no problem.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, that's good.
And you don't need to.
Zach, you're all good. This like makes me cry. That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, oh, sweet.
Yeah, just one. That's awesome.
Really didn't recognize you. Holy moly. Don't even tell me how old you are now, because that makes me really old.
Moving on now to our discussion item for this evening. We have 11.1 police station bond issuance.
Yeah, thank you. So as we get closer to our bond sale for the police station, we have worked with our financial advisors and bond counsel on the pretty lengthy document in your packet that we call the preliminary official statement. So this statement is basically a draft disclosure document. Investors for our bonds can take a look at this document to get a high-level overview of the city's operations and financial position. Best practice before we go to bond sale is to give the elected officials an opportunity to review what is in here, as ultimately you guys are responsible. Not from a liability standpoint, but just really making sure that what we have in here reflects an accurate picture of the city. So I'm not looking for any in-depth conversation tonight, but since it is a pretty lengthy document, I'm just asking that if you do have any comments or notes that you see as you've reviewed this, if you can send those to me by April 10th. Of course, if you do have any that you've already seen and we want to talk about them tonight, we can do that as well.
Is there any discussion from council this time? Nope, I don't think we have anything. Okay, on that, we're gonna go ahead and move on. Moving on to the mayor's message, I just want to highlight again, Jennifer Raymond coming in this evening and talking about former Mayor Diedrich and how much appreciated it is for her being here to talk about that. And she was on the elementary school when I was a kid, and I remember her fondly, and really appreciate you honoring her memory and making sure we don't forget. Appreciate that. Also want to highlight Mr. Phillips. It's kind of weird having you come in and give a speech. It's always good to hear from you, and thank you for coming in and talking about that. And it's always good to hear more community members and their memories and how we can continue to make Umatilla a better place and do it together. So really appreciate you coming in this evening. And also about the sidewalks. Let's hopefully we can get a resolution on those and get some ideas fixed, and we'll find some solutions. Appreciate it. And one more highlight as well to the Golden Anchor Salute. Excellent job. And I appreciate you guys, all the work down there at the arena, and Scott's crew as well. Can't forget about Scott's crew. But yep, appreciate everyone who are hard work and working on that and making sure that all gets done. With that, that's all I have for this evening. And we're going to go ahead and move on down the line here to Corinne Vandenberg.
All right, so I'm mostly going to echo a lot of what you said. I've had to make this whole list. There's so much going on. It's so exciting. Golden Anchor Award, congratulations. Just so exciting. It looks so good down there at the marina every time, like if I go walking down there or whatever, and I bring family by there to look at it. It's just, I'm so proud. So thank you. And the mural, I'm very excited about the mural. That's going to be very exciting to have. I'm 100% excited about the buying of the Willamette property in McNary. I totally agree with Zach. It is such an eyesore forever. So I'm very excited. Thank you I appreciate your forward thinking for our community. And so that brings Zach. I'm so excited that you are really interested in that. And seriously, it's such a delight to see you grown up and being all responsible. No, and giving to your community too. I really appreciate that because sometimes we have a hard time getting our kids back here, but thank you for continuing to live here and want to support the school and our city. And I thought I had Jennifer, I wanted to tell, she's still there, or there she is. Thank you. I appreciate that. We appreciate your advocating for her and thank you. Appreciate that. And I believe, David, thank you for all you do for our city. I made a huge list of all the things you've done and we just are 100% grateful for you and what you've done for our city. So thank you. And thank you all for coming. Good to see you all.
Thank you very much. Moving on to Mr. DeFloss.
I want to thank the Marine Board for coming over. That's the first time we've seen them in
I don't think I've ever seen him.
experience.
Never seen him.
I noticed he left. I was going to say a couple things to him. Funny story about that property. And it's kind of funny that you made the motion and you seconded it because of your history with that building as well. Many years ago, their family was involved with that building for many, many years. So it's kind of poignant that you guys were involved with us purchasing it as a city. So it's just kind of cool how full circle, wish your dad was here. So yeah, that'd be great. Maybe he can christen the building or something. I don't know. Maybe be all right. I do want to say the golf course is looking great. I could see a lot of the aeration has been great and the groom, it's playing really well. I mean, I play bad, but the course plays nice. Yes, David Stockdale, sir, I'm glad that you have and no longer a sub-bulleted point, but a bulleted point to be more invest more in yourself and in the time, because I think it's too important for us as leaders to not invest in ourselves. And if you do that, then it just erodes away with everything else. So I know family is very important to you. So you need to take that into consideration and really focus on some time, because that all comes together. And I know that you're like the hover mom, that you want to go around to your departments and make sure everybody's doing okay. I'll put it that way. So sometimes we have to just let our birds fly and then give direction later. So also I want to say that I've been watching the social media's posts on Rock the Locks. Holy cow, our ticket sales they're through the roof. All of our RV spots are almost all sold out, if not all sold out. So VIPs are done. We just now went to general public, and before that it was all the reserve or pre-sale. Pre-sale, we almost sold out everything. So that's unreal. So I wanted to say that's amazing. Also landing days, I'm hearing a lot of really good positive things about that. Going back to 2-night event's going to be great. So I'm excited about that. So we have a lot of really nice stuff coming into play. Also, I've had some people talk to me about South Hill, and particular, as you go up on the hill, where are we going with the sidewalks? And do we know, are we going to go further north or down the hill eventually with our sidewalks? Or where are we at with that? If somebody knows, I'm sure you guys know.
I can respond.
Sure.
Yeah.
Scott's not raising his hand. He's got his mini hand up there.
Yeah, the mini hand.
Mini hand.
Oh, go ahead,
Saying
Scott.
Stop in the name of love.
I think it's the most referred to Scott.
Scott, you want to grab that, or I can grab that? It's all the same.
No, go ahead, Dave. We're on the same meeting, so you go ahead.
So power lines, several phases.
Yes.
So we're gonna go down the hill, in our next set of phases, start with the roundabout, and from the roundabout up to where we just left off, which is, Jefferson Street, which is immediately north of the canal. So those will be the next, set of phasing that comes into play there, but we're gonna we'll take a pause here for, about 2 years before we do any other, improvements out there on Powerline Road while we, go and, try to get direct legislative appropriations for both the roundabout and that phase of the project. We put that into our CIP, our federal requests. It went into Merkley and Wyden's packaging for that through direct federal appropriations, and then we'll be asking, coordinating with District 57 and at the state legislature next year for that. So we'll see where that goes. And then once we pop out in May of next year, when that legislative session closes, we'll know where we're at financially, and we'll be able to start moving forward with the rest of that. In the meantime, ODOT, our partnership with ODOT, they're working on the engineering and design of the roundabout as we speak. At the moment, it's still in the conceptual phase. You've seen surveyors and stuff like that out there right now. So, but the sidewalks on the current project now, that was to connect existing sidewalks that were in place and to where, so we had a south side and a north side, and now those are connected on the west side of the road. So that's what we'll have. That's what we have for the next couple of years.
Okay. I had some community members ask me, so I just thought I'd follow up and see where we're at. So, but other than that, I appreciate everybody coming out. I really appreciate engagement. There's a lot of times I can remember years and years that we sat in here by ourselves and had talk with the walls, and that was about it in ourselves. So it's nice to have feedback and have people engaged. That's fantastic. Love to see it. That's all I got.
Thank you. I'll take Katie McMillan now.
All right. Well, I'm pretty much piggybacking off what everybody else said because everybody's taken it already. Good job to Salud, Denise, Esmeralda, and the Public Works staff. That's amazing that you guys, you've done all of that stuff. Like he said, 9 out of 10 times people don't take his recommendations, and you guys did it. So that's awesome that you guys took control of that and did that. So, and then Zach, thank you for coming. I think the stuff for veterans is amazing. I wish we had more for them. I mean, they fought for us. They put everything out there for us. Nowadays, if they've talked about, calling people out there, and I think people wouldn't know what to do. They would just cry. Back in the day, people used to lie about their age because they were so proud to fight for the country. And now, now they have no help at all whatsoever. And so they have some, but I just wish there was more for them. So I appreciate you looking into doing stuff for veterans. I really do appreciate that. So I'm looking forward to the mural. I want to see it all lit up and all the bright colors. I think it's going to be great. And then also, Jennifer, I really appreciate you coming and acknowledge that. I saw your Facebook post and it was so pretty. You did a beautiful job on it. That's a hard one. I remember seeing her come in, and I always knew there was trouble. There was trouble coming at, like, her little mischievous smile. She'd come up and say something. You're like, oh, there she goes again, and I kept on saying, she needs a bench. She needs a bench because her heart was in the best place ever. But she loved her little gossip, and she needs a bench so people can sit there and just reminisce and have their little gossip time with her, kind of, keep her up to date. So we all know she loved it, but her heart was in the right place. So, but I really appreciate you coming in and acknowledging her. And it was beautiful, and she's very, very much missed. And it's just weird every time I see her. Her number's still on my phone and everything. My sister-in-law's name is Mary, so every time I pull up Mary, hers comes up, and I can't delete it. I can't, So I appreciate you though, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they do for the tree and the plaque and the bench, and it's going to be awesome, I think. So, and I appreciate everybody. Just like he said, the engagement tonight and stuff was great. So we appreciate you guys. Thank you,
Dennis.
Well, Jennifer, I got to thank you too. I was Mary's neighbor for 15 years, and gosh dang it, told myself I wasn't going to do this. But anyway, I received a lot of produce from her over the years. Yes. She'd call up like, do you need a few potatoes? And I bought a 50-pound bag and, you know.
I got some.
Anyway,
potatoes,
so
yeah.
thank you so much for speaking up. I really, really appreciate it. She meant a lot to me. I mean, like Katie said, she was Mary, but you know, she was loved and she was a rascal, but she was loved. So thank you so much. And congratulations on the awards. I got an idea. You guys should get like gold anchor tattoos. That's what I'm thinking. I think Dave could make that happen. It's probably in the budget,
Yeah,
right?
Dave wants one.
But
Yeah.
yeah, Dave, you could get one too. Just fit in. Oh, does he? Oh, okay. But anyway, thanks everyone for showing up. Thanks, Zach, for speaking. And like everyone else said, you know, we'll hopefully we can get something done with the sidewalks too. But thanks everybody for everything, and have a good night.
Mr. McLean.
There's nothing left for you.
Yeah, you make me, I have to be creative once
Okay.
again. Yeah, okay, here we go.
I'll start with you next time, Bruce. Right?
Yeah,
How about that?
thanks for a paved road up the hill.
Oh.
It's awfully, Kip's not here. You'll take care of that, right? Yeah, got that one in. The Golden Anchor, wonderful award, something for the community and the town to be really proud of. I personally look at it and I was delighted by the great big smile on your face and your story about personal growth. And, I can't reinforce how much city staff's focus on growing the city staff in every way, shape and form that they possibly can, just is something that makes me proud, being part of this body up here. Beyond that, thanks city staff for everything you do. Thank everybody that was here today. And, once again, who didn't get a armful of eggplant or rutabaga or whatever it might have been? Made me smile. Thank you for the words.
Okay, with that, we are looking for a motion to exit our normal session, enter into an executive session at this time.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion. We leave our regular session and enter into executive session.
Thank you, sir, for the motion. Can we have a second motion, please?
I'll second that.
Motion is for a second. Can we have a roll call at this time?
Counselor Funderburk.
Aye.
Counselor Duffloff.
Aye.
Counselor Katie McMillan.
Aye.
Counselor Dennis McMillan. Counselor McLean.
Aye.
Thank you very much. The council now meet in executive session pursuant to RS 1926602H to consult with your attorney regarding your legal rights and duties, current litigations or litigations more than likely not to be filed. Representatives of the news media and the city manager, department directors, and city attorneys shall be allowed to attend the executive session. All members of the audience are asked to leave the room at this time. Representatives of the news media are specifically directed not to report on otherwise disclose any deliberations or anything said about these subjects during the executive session, except to state the general topic of the executive session. As previously announced, notices will be made in executive session. At the end of the executive session, we will return to open session and welcome in the audience